Precision farming is a bit of a mindset change. But what about on time change? Yeah, let's take it over a 3-year period. So after the last video, it did bring up some questions. The first thing we need to cover off is a comment that was made by B101UK9 about the cost of the lime. And to be fair, 100% right. I mean, I got the amounts wrong for the figures, but I did do the calculations on the standard base version and the precision farming. So whilst the actual prices were wrong, the difference between the two is still going to be the same. So the first year is going to be the problem. And that leads me on to another comment like, well, from SimNoob5912. Obviously, the first year with everything is going to be the issue. So we're going to take a look at a longer time frame. Now, I'm on Riverbend Springs. I'm going to be doing it all on field, was it field number 2? It's currently harvested, ready to go, and I've got the same equipment set up, well, with a slight change. So I've got me lime spreader, I've got the same planter, but what I've gone and got is got 2 sprayers. So to save me having to refill them, empty them, refill them with herbicide, fertilizer, whatever, I've got one with fertilizer in, one with herbicide. I can just jump in each one and away we go. And we've got the same, with the correct header, sports harvester to get it all done. Now we're going to be doing the soybeans the same, so we're going to do it all 3 years. Now what I'm doing 3 years for, because obviously in the base game you need to lime every 3 years. So we're going to bang a load of lime down, put the seed in, and then obviously in the second and third year, we don't need to do the lime again. So we're going to see if long term that's going to have a better effect. But then again, in the base one, you don't need to put lime down every 3 years. So well, we'll see. We'll see. Right, let's get cracking then. I'm going to start off and we're going to do year 1 first. So we'll lime, seed, fertilize, herbicide, harvest. That's the order we're going to be doing, because obviously that planter seeder is it has got fertilizer in it as well. Right, fair enough. Now I'm going to use the old GPS, so it's going to get the best coverage as possible. So I reckon sometimes that could be potentially a thing. If you as a driver aren't getting the best coverage over your area, yeah, that might be an issue. So we're going to use the old GPS to make sure everything's spot on. Right then, let's get cracking. So year 1 is done, and what we've used is 2,334 litres of lime, 394 litres of seed, fertiliser over the 2, it's 782 litres when we're using the seeder, and then 35 litres when using the old sprayer. Herbicide, we use 668 litres, and we've got a yield of 14,795 of the old croppage. Right, so that's year 1, and obviously year 2, we're not going to be using the limer. We're just going to go straight in to seeding. Right, let's get cracking with that then. Right, so year 2 is in the books, and we've pretty much got the similar sort of thing. So 391 litres of seed, 713 and then 37 litres of fertiliser, 668 litres of herbicide, which is exactly the same, and then 14,860 on the old yieldage at the end. So pretty stable, more or less the same as year goes by. Okay, well let's just double check on year 3. So year 3 is in the books, and pretty much it's a similar sort of thing, let's face it. So we've got 391 on the seeds, 746 and 36 on the fertilizer, 665 on the herbicide, and 14,864 on the old croppage out the field. So it's pretty stable. Yeah, there's the odd 1 or 2 or maybe even 5 here or there, but it is pretty much the same year on year. Okay, so now we've got the base readings. I'm going to reset it all. I'm going to get the old precision farming installed, and then we'll go again. And we're going to use the same equipment, but obviously these two, well actually, and the tractor is going to have the old sensors. All the sensors put onto them so it knows exactly what it's got to do. Right, let's get sorted then. Now, before we get cracking with the precision farming for the 3 years, there is some additional costs that we do need to bear in mind. Now, obviously, you are going to need to do some sort of field analysis work. So whether you go for the old scout and do it yourself, or whether you just go and buy it, you are going to need to get the vehicle, or at least buy the thing itself. So we're gonna buy it. We're gonna buy the field information. So that's gonna cost us 875. All right, we're done. We're done with that. So that's one cost we do need to take into account. Obviously, that's a fairly small field. So across your whole farm, it's soon gonna add up. And the second thing is going to be obviously all the sensors on our sprayers. Now, I have got a big sprayer and I've got 2 of them. So we're only going to do one. We're only going to take into account the cost of one. So I've got all 3 of these on, which is added 100, well, bar a bit of change, 105 grand. And you may be thinking, yeah, but you got a big sprayer on such a small field. Well, even the smallest base game sprayer, you are going to have a 48 grand extra price tag for getting the sensors on there. So there is something else you need to bear in mind. Now, obviously, yes, I've got 2 and we are only using one field, so across your whole farm it is going to spread out the cost a bit. I agree. I agree 100%. It's just something extra you do need to take into account. Right, let's get cracking with year 1 in precision farming. Right, so year 1 is in the book on the old precision farming, and there's some interesting numbers. Now, the lime, like we've seen in the previous video, it does use a lot more lime, about 30%-ish. But the seed, yeah, used a little bit more, but the fertilizer, this is where it's coming into its own. We only used 1 litre when we used the old Agrifact, and we used 11 litres when we done the seeding to start off with. Alright, fair enough. Now the herbicide as well, that was way lower. We only used 54 litres compared to the old 600 that we used on the standard one. But the yield is an interesting one, because we've only got 9,833 compared to the just under 15,000 on the standard one. Now, it is supposed to get better. You know, the more times that you go over a field, it is supposed to sort itself out and get even more precise. So we'll see if that does play out. So on to year 2 then. Now, before we go on to year 2, obviously we do need to keep an eye on that lime, because whilst the standard base game one does put a layer down and you're good for 3 years, I'm assuming it's going to be the same in precision farming, but we're going to keep an eye on it anyway. So it's still saying there that we're good to go. Yeah, so that's what do we want? No, we're looking at something else. Oh, do you know what? Let's put the old help menu on, the old field information. There we are. So we're saying pH value perfect. So we're still good to go. We're still good on the old liming. Right, let's get the seed on the go then. Yeah, so year 2's in the book, and to be fair, it's pretty similar to year 1. I mean, like, even down to the yield, I mean, we're like one different. Although there is, it's a little bit concerning whilst we're getting quite a lot less than doing the standard base version. I mean, don't get me wrong, putting the chemicals in, so the fertilizer and the herbicide is a lot down, the same as year one, but so's the yield. Well, I thought it was supposed to get better the more times you go over the field, but alright, fair enough. We'll carry on. We'll get cracking with year 3 then. Oh, let's just check year 3. Let's have a little look. Actually, we need to put the old setting menu back on, don't we? Right, there we are. Put field info back on. There we are. So is year 3 still good on the old? No, we're going to have to put some more lime in. Interesting. Alright, so let's go on to there. Right, it's saying that specific bit is bad. I mean, that bit's good. Maybe it's just that one spot. Right on the edge of the field. Alright, no, we're still saying we're good to go. Alright, we'll carry on with year 3 then. So year 3 is done and dusted and in the books. Now, we spent on, well, we used on seed 431 litres, on fertiliser 11 and 55. For some strange reason, the fertiliser was a little bit more on the actual putting the seed into the ground, which is interesting. Herbicide is going to be 55, the same as the previous year, and the yield, again, is still down, 9,806. Now, this is where it gets interesting because obviously the croppage itself gets sold off at a certain point. So if we take the price right now, which is 3,759 per 1,000 litres, and for this field we would have got on the base version anyway 167,346. Now, if you calculate the croppage for the precision farming, we've only got 110,819, but we do need to add into that a bonus that we got for being environmentally friendly of 7,215. But obviously, yeah, we've got less. We've sold less crop at the ground, but that's not always the whole story. We need to take into account the actual cost itself. Yeah, so if we break it down into a monetary value, on year 1, we bought the stuff to go into the field 3,389, but on the precision farming we only paid 1,612, and that's the same for year 2. So 2,751 that we paid for stuff for the base version, but only 910 for the precision farming. And then on year 3 it was 2,799 on the base version, and then 998 for precision farming itself. Now, if you work that out as a total over the 3 years, you would have made a profit on the base version of 158,407, but you've only made 114,514 on the precision farming one. But obviously, if we then go back over to our field and we take a little look at what it's saying, it's saying there pH value bad, but if you look at it, so there you are, you can see it a bit better. So it's currently saying 6375 at 7,000. Yeah, move it around, you're going to get different scores. So it's not that bad. I mean, got a little bit bad there. I mean, a little bit better there. Okay. So next time round, obviously, if you're on the standard base version, yeah, you're going to need to put another layer of lime down, which is going to be another, was it 2,334? But we're not going to need to put as much down over here. Actually, do you know what? I'm going to do another load of lime on the old precision farm just to see how much it is. So obviously we've done a three-year cycle on this, but what if we take it to the next one? Hold on, let's do it. I'm going to put another one down and we see what we've got. There we are. So you can see this time we've only actually used 1,883 litres compared to the 3,000 that we used on the first year precision farming. But even the standard base one was 2,300. So over time, and obviously over size of area, it is definitely going to pay for itself in the long run. And I will say that it is a long run thing, although to be fair, oh no, it was just that patch. You know, you walk up to a patch and it's like, oh, it's bad. And then you walk like 2 feet later and we're good. We're good. So it is going to be a long-term thing, I suppose. You know, if you get into it and you've got a big enough area, that is going to pay off eventually. You just need to take into account the cost of everything that goes into it, including the sensors and the field analysis. Oh, that being said, do we need to do the field analysis again? That's interesting. Let's have a little look. Are we there? No, we're still good to go. I mean, look, we got our field score up to 100. Oh, fair enough. That's not saying we need to do the analysis again. So, all right, fair enough. A long time project.